you'd never lick your thumb to clean their face, never let them have too much screen time, and never bribe them for just one more bite. You say you'd never let them out in public without their hair brushed, never ever become a minivan mom, and you'd never give them your phone for a quiet dinner.
Calling boss work phone.
So when you say you'd never leave your child in a hot car, no, it can happen. Cars get hot fast, and kids can be at risk in temperatures as low as 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Never happens. Before you leave the car, always stop, look, lock. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
You know what it is, Truth Nation. Wake up! Wake up! Wake up! Wake up!
The best way to start your day. Cutting through the noise and bringing you the real stories behind the headlines.
Talk to someone about how you feel. Do not internalize it. Do not consume it. You deserve to be heard.
It's time to wake up with Milwaukee's favorite morning show.
It's not just we canceled it, it's over, it's a done deal. Shouldn't be that way. That program still should proceed no matter how a few may go.
Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee.
Telly, where all the watch parties? Where the brothers gonna be? I just want to see what she was gonna do.
This is Truth Be Told with DT and Telly on 1017 The Truth and The Truth app. Here are your hosts, the effective communication coach Denise Thomas and two-time Emmy Award winner Telly Hughes.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Happy Tuesday. It is Tuesday, June 25th. You are listening to the best morning show on planet Earth. Telly, what in the BB King is going on outside?
Man, oh man, it is coming down. They used to say cats and dogs, but it's more animals that coming down today than just cats and dogs in Milwaukee.
Well, if you have not already heard or seen, there are severe thunderstorms taking place right now. There's a severe thunderstorm watch issued for parts of southeastern Wisconsin, and this watch is in effect until 8 a.m. Please, 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 please be careful. Take note of this severe weather. Again, there are severe thunderstorms moving throughout southeastern Wisconsin with additional storms possible in the evening. The National Weather Service issued a severe thunderstorm watch for a whole lot of counties, including ours. And the watch is until 8 a.m. So Dodge County, Fond du Lac, Ozaukee, Sheboygan, and Washington, Milwaukee, northwestern Milwaukee, southwestern Ozaukee, all of the counties surrounding Milwaukee and in Milwaukee currently have a severe thunderstorm warning as of now until 8 a.m. So again, please, 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 please take precaution and put safety first.
Yes, definitely. Make decisions. If you have to leave earlier than you normally do that, because this isn't just a warning. I mean, this is going on, and it's going to continue to go on at least for the next hour. So, again, like DT just said, severe thunderstorm watch for all the surrounding counties, pretty much in the southeast Wisconsin area, and just please be careful.
Please, please, please. And I was talking with a friend the other day, literally Sunday, about, this abnormal weather that we're experiencing. And again, Telly, you and I occasionally, and I think I'm really about to start putting more of these related conversations at the forefront, but global warming, climate change, it's just the weather is abnormal everywhere across the globe. And you've got extensive rain, thunderstorms, in some countries, hurricanes, tsunamis. And again, this is not to, pump Kool-Aid in your heart or perpetuate fear. But the reality is that we've got to wake up, not just in terms of social justice and things that are happening in our community as far as disparities, the weather. And Telly, I've said this before, I don't know anyone who's defeated Mother Nature. She is undefeated.
Yeah, and on top of that, the other thing that should be pretty disturbing for you is the fact that you have two presidential candidates that have yet to even mention global warming, have yet to mention what they're going to try and do to combat this, and that's the other sad part about that. And it used to be when presidential candidates would run on things and policies and things that they want to do. But like you said, all of this is going on. You having record heat, and then you turn around, you have severe flooding across several states in the Midwest in this country. And again, we're just going around like, oh, this is, it's not normally how it goes. But you gotta pay attention, and we gotta come up with some ways to combat this. And I would like for that to be maybe something that is debated on Thursday night.
I really truly hope so, because you want to mandate certain things in this country in terms of telling people that you can't teach Black history in classrooms, and you want to make sure that the 10 commandments are posted in every classroom and this and that, and not one of these governors or, to your point, presidential candidates are talking about an entity that, again, remains undefeated. And there should be, if you really, I don't believe in mandating adults for certain things, but if you really wanted to mandate, start looking at how people are recycling, how people are treating Mother Earth. Our ecosystem is at risk. I mean, there's just, Telly, again, these storms, these severe thunderstorm watches that are taking place in months that typically don't have these types of thunderstorms. And again, all these different natural disasters that are occurring. Again, she's undefeated. You cannot beat Mother Nature. No. Don't even try it. I'm not trying it, because again, she's undefeated. Andre 3000 said it best. You can plan a pretty picnic, but you can't predict the weather. Sure can't. So y'all, again, severe thunderstorm watch is taking place right now until 8 a.m. this morning. Please, please, please be safe. Take your time. And if you need to stay in the house, stay in the house. All right. Now, Telly, I got to ask you a question, because this happened to me last night. And I thought, doggone it, this happens every time at nighttime. It can't happen during the day. I literally was winding down, getting ready for bed, and the smoke detector in my hallway upstairs. You already know what I'm about to say.
Oh, man. The most irritating noise.
Oh, I was like, wait a minute. So you're telling me smoke detector? I'm literally having a conversation with the smoke detector. That's how frustrated I was, because again, I'm trying to wind down. I'm trying to go to bed. Remember, I'm part of the 9 p.m. club, and it's a process. So my bed was looking good too, y'all. Ooh, my bed was fine last night. And I even tried to turn it down, like the fancy hotels do. I turned my bed down. I got ready for bed. I'm literally, Telly, about to get into the bed. And I'll be excited, y'all. When it's time for me to get in the bed, I'm like, ooh. I love my bed. My bed has never failed me. My bed
if it
is
makes
everything.
You sing, it has to be everything.
I remember a time in my life, Telly, remember we were little kids, we were like, I don't want to go to bed. The bed was like punishment. Shoot, now I'm like, hello, is it me you're looking for? And so I'm about to get into bed. You have no clue the extent of the love I have for my bed. And there goes that doggone sound from the smoke detector. Yeah. Now, technically, you're not supposed to tamper with your smoke detector. for obvious reasons. But Telly, the smoke detector.
When you say tamper, what does that mean?
What I did. So I said, okay, let me see if I can reset it. So I go downstairs, I get one of my mini ladders, haul it all the way upstairs, directly place it underneath the battery, or the smoke detector. That's now the most piercing, annoying noise that you can imagine, Telly. And I'm like, man. So I said, okay, let me see if there's a reset button. I hit the reset button, Telly. It starts going even more bananas. I was like, oh my gosh, no, stop. Shh. So then finally, I just reached up. I pulled that bad boy down. I unplugged whatever those cords are. Electricians out there, help me out. And I, quote unquote, disabled it. I mean, it's almost 9:30 at night, and I'm just trying to get in the bed. So I was just curious because it seems like all smoke detectors want to go bad or south, or remind you that you need to change your battery at nighttime, right before you're going to bed.
And I can't think of a time that has happened to me, but I also can't think of a time where it went off in the daytime either. So I'm sure it has happened, and it always happens at night. Yes, you now that part I can totally relate to, because you're right. It never does go off in the day.
Like, why now? You know how when I'm tired, I'm just like, no, why now? Why now? It was a long process last night, but I took it out.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna submit a request to have it put back together today. But I was just curious, because I was like, am I the only one that deals with
and make sure somebody comes out and does it, DT, because you disconnected it. You may not know how to reconnect it back the right way. And
I don't, and I don't plan on it.
Yeah. So yes, call someone. The fire department, they will come to your house and replace your smoke detectors. I think a lot of people don't know that, and they would do it for free. All you got to do is call them.
Wait a minute. So you telling me I can have one of those firemen come to my place and fix my smoke detector? You should live with that. Hey, I'll be right back. Hold on. Telly's going to take over the rest of the show. I need to call the fire department. I'm a damsel in distress.
It's going to take 2 hours. You like the rest of the show? We just started.
Shut up, Telly. Mind your business. I'm grown over here. All right, we've got a lot of hot topics to cover today, and I have to first start with this. If you have not already heard, and this is great news, over the weekend, Sha'Carri Richardson wins the 100-meter final to qualify for the 2024 Summer Olympics, which are taking place this summer in Paris. The 24-year-old sprinter advanced to the semifinals on Friday after finishing in first place. Two others, Richardson's training partner Melissa Jefferson and Twanisha Terry, also qualified for the Paris Olympics after finishing in second and third place. I'm so excited to see these three sisters heading to Paris after qualifying.
Yes.
And the 100-meter final took place on Saturday at the Olympic trials at Hayward Field in Eugene, Oregon. When we come back from break, we want to get Telly's reaction, because, again, this is a big deal. All three of our incredible sisters, Sha'Carri Richardson, Melissa Jefferson, and Twanisha Terry, have qualified for the Paris Olympics after finishing first, second, and third in the 100-meter final on Saturday. Let's go, y'all. We come back, we're going to get into that. Also, there's another person who just was in Milwaukee that's also qualifying for the Paris Olympics. We're going to give you an update on who that is and what they will be doing as part of the upcoming Summer Olympics in Paris. We'll be back.
More of Truth Be Told with DT and Telly is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
It's that time of the year, Truth Nation, for our Truth Walk Against Violence. Violence is a problem which impacts all of us, but together we can make a difference. This is why I need you to join me and the Truth Team on Saturday, July 20th from 9 to noon for our second annual Walk Against Violence. Enough is enough. Now it's time to bring an end to senseless violence in our community and encourage a safer Milwaukee for us all. Join our Walk Against Violence on Saturday, July 20th. Visit 1017thetruth.com and sign up today. Together, we can bring an end to violence.
Enough is enough.
You know one thing about Biden?
Here you go again.
When he makes a promise, he keeps it.
Okay, like what?
He got us out of the pandemic, got the country back on its feet.
Okay, sure.
And when all that recovery money was getting spent, Biden made sure that black businesses and communities got our fair share.
So, man?
That's a promise made and a promise kept.
Okay, but what else?
New roads, new bridges, high-speed internet, even out in the country where your brother lives.
Yeah.
Lower health insurance rates. Didn't your premiums go down?
Uh-huh.
That's another Biden promise kept.
Looks like it.
My mom's medication costs less. Your cousin's insulin is now only $35.
Okay, but what about jobs, building wealth?
Under Biden, the number of new black small businesses is booming, and black unemployment hit a record low. See? That's another...
Okay, I get it. Promise made, promise kept. I can see that now.
Told you. Biden and Harris are getting the job done for us.
I'm Joe Biden, candidate for president, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Biden for president.
This is Telly Hughes for Educators Credit Union, where I am a member. Do you dream of owning a home? Educators Credit Union is by your side with better rates, lower fees, and award-winning member services to help turn your dreams into reality. Join one of their free home buying webinars throughout this summer to learn about the benefits of buying a home, home ownership grants, loan options, and so much more. Visit their website at ecu.com to reserve your virtual seat. Educators Credit Union is an equal housing lender.
Heard at work? If you or someone you know has been injured on the job, they may be eligible for workers' compensation benefits, including lost wages, coverage of medical bills, job retraining, and even a lump sum cash settlement. I'm attorney Alex Eichhorn, partner and workers' compensation attorney at Tabak Law. The workers' compensation system can be complicated and frustrating to navigate. At Tabak Law, we have helped hundreds of injured workers. Contact Tabak Law to set up an absolutely risk-free consultation at tabakattorneys.com. Contact Tabak for the payback. tabakattorneys.com.
It's Summerfest. 600 artists, 3 unforgettable weekends, 1 epic lakefront. Summerfest, presented by American Family Insurance. Find tickets, lineup, and more at summerfest.com.
PWD surveillance, clear as day. 4K resolution or better, keep troubles away. Don't let poor surveillance set you back. Bank account can't handle that. Crime rising, that's a fact. PWD HD surveillance. Give us a call today, 414-445-5793.
It is Truth Be Told with DT and Telly on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Oh yeah, baby. Feeling like the way
You are listening to the best morning show on planet Earth. Good morning, Truth Nation. It is Tuesday, June 25th. Before break, we were providing an update regarding the upcoming Olympic Games in Paris and in the 100-meter finals that took place this past Saturday at Hayward Field in Eugene, Oregon, to identify or determine who would be heading to represent the United States Olympic team in the category of 100-meter race. Sha'Carri Richardson won the women's 100-meter dash final on day 2 of the 2024 U.S. Olympic team track and field trials. Yes. And so also, Melissa Jefferson, Richardson's training partner, and Twanisha Terry also qualified for the Paris Olympics after they finished in 2nd and 3rd place. I am so excited to see these 3 beautiful black women qualifying and representing the United States during the upcoming Paris Olympics. What do you think, Telly?
Yeah, shout out to Sha'Carri Richardson. I mean, we know 4 years ago the whole thing she went through and how unfair it was for her to not be able to compete, knowing that she was one of the best sprinters in the world, and she was unable to compete. But I'm glad and that she is back on top where she belongs. Number one. Number two, it ain't even about revenge. You haven't heard her say anything about I'm coming for revenge. It's like, look, y'all know what y'all did the last time, so I'm showing up this time, and I'm going to do what I was supposed to have had the opportunity to do 4 years ago.
I love stories like this, Telly, for so many reasons. And to your point, and if you weren't aware, in 2021, Sha'Carri Richardson, who had been expected to be one of the biggest draws at the Tokyo Olympics game after winning the 100 meters during the U.S. trials back then, was not able to compete after accepting a 1-month ban for her positive test of THC, which is a chemical that's found in marijuana. So to Telly's point, she wasn't able to qualify for the Olympic Games in Tokyo back in 2021. But after coming off of a historic year in 2023, where she won the women's 100 meters with a championship record time of 10.65, and this took place during the World Athletics Championship in Budapest, Hungary. So now she is qualified. She'll be representing the United States during the upcoming 2024 Summer Olympics in Paris. And again, I love stories like this because the system, certain individuals, they think that they're going to destroy you. They think they're going to destroy you. They're going to do anything they can because they are just committed to your failures. But there is a higher power, and this is a complete testimony to where do not quit, do not give up, operate in your powers daily. And I love what you said, Telly, because Sha'Carri, yeah, she could literally be like, see, what y'all got to say now? But she has not. Mm-hmm. Because, again, numbers don't lie.
Yeah, and the point that when that all went down, when she accepted that 1-month ban, just the way that it was presented was so terrible, meaning that they meaning the media that was covering this made it seem as though she was aware that you couldn't smoke weed, and compete. But she just decided to go and just have a good time and this, that, and the other. But when the real story came out, she was dealing with the passing of her mother, and she had some moments where she was depressed and she smoked. Now, they made her seem like she was the worst person in the world, but you have so many other athletes that are addicted to so many other painkillers and this, that, and the other that is far worse than some THC appearing in your blood system. But the way that it was perpetuated was she was just this wild girl, and she was just doing her own thing, and she happened to get caught. And it was nothing like that. So for her to have to deal with that, and she still accepted responsibility. At the end of the day, she said, I still, okay, I know I was wrong, but this was the reason why I was wrong. And but to ban her a month, the most important month, and when the Olympics are about to start, that was so unfair. And this is our governing body. This wasn't even the Olympic governing body. This was the United States.
Oh yeah.
Doing this.
Oh yeah.
So for her to come back and to do it the way that she's doing it, I could not be happier for her. And I am so excited for the Olympic Games. I mean, it's just when the Olympics come around, I know I'm biased, but track and field and basketball, those are the two events that, oh my gosh, I got to watch all of it.
You are
both
just like
women
Papa T.
and men's basketball.
Yeah, no, Papa
Not
T,
just the men.
he is a legend spectator. He loves track and field, both men and women's, and he loves both men and women's basketball as well. So you and Papa T are going to be watching at the same time. And, you know, again, we've talked about this before, and I'm serious. I keep telling myself and others, because when I first heard this, I thought, you know what? Do not mess with anointed people. People who have extraordinary gifts, people who have been chosen, who have been blessed with a particular gift, because that gift is to serve a mass population, break records, do things astounding, do things outstanding. Just quit messing with anointed people. You're not going to win, because Sha'Carri Richardson is another testimony to when you mess with anointed people. Ooh. All right. Now, speaking of the Olympics, man, I want to be Snoop Dogg when I grow up. You hear me, Telly? Speaking of the Olympics, Snoop Dogg is heading to Paris as well. He will be the special correspondent for NBC's primetime games coverage alongside Olympics host Mike Tirico. Now, if you're not familiar with Snoop Dogg, you have to be living under a rock. Snoop Dogg is one of the most famous rappers, actors, entrepreneurs. Snoop does it all. Snoop
was just here in Milwaukee too.
Right, he was just here in Milwaukee performing at Potawatomi, and Milwaukee County Executive David Crawley presented to Snoop a proclamation of Snoop Dogg Day, as well as, I believe, a key to the city. So shout out to Snoop Dogg, who obviously loves some Milwaukee. He went to the Brewers game, threw the first pitch, performed. Yeah, Snoop, he definitely loves some Milwaukee. Now, with the U.S. trials well underway, now that we've got Sha'Carri Richardson and others, can you imagine what Snoop Dogg's commentary is going to be like? And he also, during the track and field trials, he decided that he was going to run as well. So according to CNN, he ran the 100-meter in 34.44 seconds. He went ahead and ran against, so I'm not even kidding, during a trial run, Snoop Dogg laced up for the 200-meter exhibition race against Trinidadian former Olympic medalist Ato Bolden and two-time NCAA outdoor 200-meter champion Wallace Spearman. And Snoop, surprisingly, came in at third place, but he had, Telly, 34-second record time.
And on top of that, DT, he was in sweatpants.
Man.
He didn't even have on those shorts. But kudos to him for having the wind to finish 200 because that's a sprint, and he was able to do it.
I wonder if they gave Snoop Dogg, I wonder if they gave him a test.
Some oxygen?
To see if he
No, they gave him some oxygen before the race. They're like, hey, man, you're supposed to get the oxygen after you race and you're tired. He's like, no, I need that now, player.
Right. I'm like, Snoop, you never cease to amaze me. When we come back from break, we're going to get into a update. I say that out of endearment, but I'm not going to say auntie. Congresswoman Representative Maxine Waters, we've got an update regarding a sentence that has been placed in a case involving Representative Maxine Waters out of California. We come back, we're going to give you that update. Also, there is a particular GOP candidate that is telling us as Black Americans to leave the United States, and this was part of their Juneteenth message. We're going to learn more about who this GOP candidate is that is telling Black Americans, if you don't like what's going on in this country, then you can just leave. You are listening to the best morning show on planet Earth, Truth Be Told, with DT and Telly on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth.
More of Truth Be Told with DT and Telly is next on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Are you or someone you know between the ages of 15 and 17 and a half looking to obtain a driver's permit? Be road ready with Greater Milwaukee Urban League. Monday through Friday from July 15th to August 2nd from 10:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. you can work to get your driver's permit. For more details or to see if you qualify for this opportunity, please contact Darnell Lathan or visit tmul.org for more information.
It's time for Truth Takes, a thought-provoking commentary on the new 1017 The Truth. Here is Telly Hughes with his truth.
How many times have we been told perception is reality? Look, I'm not here to dispute that, but as true as that statement is, it couldn't be further from the truth when it comes to social media. The way we perceive something or somebody on social media is typically nowhere near how things are in their real lives. Unfortunately, identifying the difference between people's online life versus their real lives gets compromised because people want it to be real. And that's okay. What's not okay is people trying to live up to these fictitious lives that's being presented and getting thousands of likes. You often see posts of people on vacation with the caption, "Living my best life," or "So-and-so doesn't owe me anything." Again, nothing wrong with that, but I wish people would view social media like they do SportsCenter. On those type of sports shows, they only show the highlights of the game. Highlights. On social media, you're only seeing the highlights of people's lives because you probably won't get many likes on a post that shows you stressing over having more bills than money and trying to figure it out. The point is, don't get caught up trying to live up to something that isn't even real. Influencers are going to influence. And some have made a hefty living doing so. But happiness isn't a one-size-fit-all contraption. Create your own happiness. Plan out how you're going to obtain it, and then protect it the same way you would guard your most prized possession.
This has been Truth Takes on the new 1017 The Truth. Listen to The Truth Be Told with DT and Telly weekdays from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m.
When you're high, you feel different. Pretty obvious, right? You think different, talk different, but if you feel different, you drive different. So if you're high, just don't drive. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
I feel so stuck.
The Veterans Crisis Line is here for you. Dial 988, then press 1 to call.
Call Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
It is Truth Be Told with DT and Telly on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Truth Nation, violence is a problem that affects us all, but together we can make a difference. The award-winning 1017 The Truth wants to ignite positive change and bring awareness to the senseless violence occurring in our community. This is why we are hosting our second annual Truth Walk Against Violence, led by our brother Tory Lowe, on Saturday, July 20th, from Victory Over Violence Park, down MLK Drive, right to our studio at the 3rd Street Market Hall. Over the next month, Tory Lowe will be speaking with community leaders about how we can better provide sources and work as a community to rise up against violence. If you want to join the fight to stop violence, go to 1017thetruth.com right now to sign up for our Walk Against Violence on Saturday, July 20th. And yes, violence is a pandemic that is occurring, particularly in our neighborhoods. And speaking of violence, our sister, our beloved Maxine Waters, And Telly, I have so many great stories about Maxine Waters. I mean, I just can't even. She's like one of my sheroes. If you've not heard already, a 61-year-old Texas man who threatened to kill Representative Maxine Waters has been sentenced to 33 months in prison. Brian Michael Gerhardy of Houston, Texas, was sentenced Monday and fined $10,000 by a federal judge, according to the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Central District of California. U.S. District Judge R. Gary Klossner applied a hate crime enhancement to Garrity's sentence after finding that he targeted Maxine Waters, who is black, because of her race. Now, at the sentencing hearing, the California Democrat told the judge that her family members live in fear because of the threats that Garrity had made against her. And Maxine Waters, and I quote, "This growing effort to target people of color and women of color has given me nightmares. I am in fear of my life." And that again came from Maxine Waters. We've got some audio to play for you. Again, if you're just tuning in, we're talking about a 61-year-old Texas man who threatened to kill our very own Representative Maxine Waters, has been sentenced to 33 months in prison. Here we go. Wow.
Well, you know, it was sinister. Here was a man who continued to call 4 times, and he made racial comments. He basically said not only was he going to put a bullet between my eyes, he was going to cut my throat. And I want to tell you, it did get to me. I'm not someone who walks around, you know, just fearful all the time. But this was more sinister again. It was deadly. And so I am haunted by those kinds of comments coming from him.
That was Maxine Waters, Congresswoman out of the state of California, Democrat, who recently, that was her speaking as a result of the sentencing. A 61-year-old Texas man who threatened to kill Representative Maxine Waters has been sentenced to 33 months in prison. Now, Telly, where this gets interesting is that violent threats against public officials have escalated in the past few years. I know there was news coverage regarding a number of judges out of the city of Madison in our state Supreme Court that received a number of violent threats. What's interesting is that studies have shown that women of color who run for office face a disproportionate rate of violent threats, and that such hostility has turned many away from seeking office. I want to repeat that. A lot of black women, or women of color in general, who are completely qualified and have a trajectory of public service, are not running for office because of this increase and escalation of violence threats against public officials. And that has to be very scary. Has to be very scary. I mean, Maxine Waters, Congresswoman Maxine Waters is saying to us that the threats are explicit as, "I'm going to cut your throat." What?
I was trying to. I thought I was. There was a disconnect because I was just trying to put the whole story together. Because when you first said a Texas man, and Maxine Waters is out of California.
Correct.
Oh, okay. That's number one for me. Number two, the governor of Texas is Abbott. Isn't that correct?
Yes.
Governor Abbott?
Yes.
What do you think someone would have been sentenced if someone made a threat against Governor Abbott in the state of Texas?
Life. Yeah, Governor Greg Abbott.
Let's just say not 33 months.
No. And who, by the way, you know, Governor Greg Abbott, who's a Republican out of Texas, people really like him. And as a matter of fact, Time Magazine named him one of the 100 most influential people for 2024.
Wow.
And he is regarded and respected as a strong conservative leader who fights to preserve Texas values.
Yeah, and I know he's done a lot with the border control, and he has a lot to do with that. But I was just making a comparison because it is so ridiculous that someone can make a threat on these public officials, and that's the consequence. And who's to say he's going to even have to serve those 33 months?
Oh,
and so
because his lawyer is already playing the, he's not in the right mind. So
yep.
The gentleman who just been sentenced for threatening to kill Representative Maxine Waters, his attorney, Joseph Venus, told NBC News that his client has apologized to Congresswoman Waters and added that if it was not for his client's, quote, mental health condition, this would have never happened. And so I'm like, here we go. How convenient. Now it's about the person's mental health condition. Now keep in mind, Garrity first threatened to kill Congresswoman Maxine Waters in August of 2022. And he warned her to, quote, move because he had a contract on her life. Now, at that point, authorities told Garrity to stop. He again threatened Waters in November of that year for having contacted law enforcement, and he was indicted in April 2023 on 4 counts of making threats. So, Telly, to your point, he has a track record of targeting specifically Congresswoman Maxine Waters. He got the slap on the wrist of making threats, intercommunications, threatening a U.S. official. And now, as of last week, he was sentenced to 33 months in prison, which, to your point, is barely 3 years. Barely.
Yeah, and we talk about
what message does that send?
If he was in his right mind, he has apologized, and he is, and that would have never happened. No, let me tell you, would have never happened. He never would have apologized, and he never would have stopped threatening her if it didn't come to light. That would have never happened. He's talking about, he wasn't
Absolutely.
in his right mind. Okay, yeah.
Well, when he goes to prison, I'm sure there's going to be some folks that know about this story that will have a very courageous conversation with him. When we come back, exactly, the welcoming committee. Come on in. When we come back, and how do you feel when certain hate groups, whether it's white supremacists, racist, how do you feel when people tell you, based on you being a black American, to just leave the U.S. and go back to where you came from? Well, when we come back, there is a GOP candidate telling black Americans as part of their Juneteenth message to leave the United States. When we come back, we're going to learn more about who this GOP candidate is and why on Juneteenth last week did they feel compelled to tell black Americans to leave the United States. You are listening to the best morning show on planet Earth, Truth Be Told with DT and Telly on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth.
More of Truth Be Told with DT and Telly is next on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Truth Nation, our first Beyond the Mic Happy Hour Mixer Series was a hit. Round 2 is up next. Join me and my Truth teammates for my Beyond the Mic Happy Hour Mixer Series on Tuesday, June 25th from 5 until 7 p.m. at Scene 1 Restaurant and Lounge, located at 5526 West North Avenue in Milwaukee. There will be delicious cocktails, great conversation, and unforgettable memories. Plus, from 5 until 6 p.m., your first drinks are sponsored by PWD Computers. So mark your calendars for Tuesday, June 25th from 5 until 7 p.m. at Scene 1 Restaurant and Lounge.
Get ready for an event like no other. Join us for a powerful conversation featuring special guest Senator Ron Johnson, hosted by the captivating radio host Tori Lowe, with music by
DJ Brother Z.
Turn the radio on.
Can you play that song for me?
From impactful discussions on pressing issues to electrifying beats that'll keep you moving, this event promises to be unforgettable. With Senator Johnson's insights, Tori Lowe's passion for community advocacy, and DJ Brother Z's killer tunes, this is more than just an event, it's an experience. Don't miss out. Join us Wednesday, June 26th at 6 p.m. at 275 West Wisconsin Avenue, Venue 3. Free food while it lasts. The Republican Party of Wisconsin paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. www.wisgop.org.
Calling all MPS alumni and supporters. Grab your golf clubs and show up and show out for Milwaukee's kids. The MPS Foundation is proud to announce the inaugural MPS Foundation Golf Outing for MKE's future. Happy Wednesday, June 26th at Brown Deer Golf Course. Grab your foursome and head to mpsfdn.org for more info and to sign up. That's mpsfdn.org. Call Vanessa Claypool today to register. Together, we can drive positive change for Milwaukee's schools.
This Associated Bank Sports Update on 1017 The Truth is powered by ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Alex Tellez. Over in baseball, the Milwaukee Brewers took care of business at home, beating the Texas Rangers 6-3 on Monday. They are back in action this Tuesday as Bryce Wilson is on the mound versus Andrew Heaney. First pitch is scheduled for 7:10, with coverage beginning over on WTMJ at 6:35. Brewers currently still sit at first place in the division with a 5-game lead over the St. Louis Cardinals. Over in the NBA, the Milwaukee Bucks continue to prepare for this year's 2024 NBA Draft, as Day 1 is tomorrow night, this Wednesday at 7, as the Bucks hold the 23rd pick in the draft. And finally, over in the NHL, the Florida Panthers beat the Edmonton Oilers 2-1, winning the Stanley Cup Finals in 7 games after being up 3-0 in the series. This sports update brought to you by Associated Bank, proudly supporting your hometown team's member, FDIC.
Associated Bank knows your small business isn't just a venture. It's your dream and a vital part of the community. And we're not just a bank. We're your neighbors. We're looking out for you. That's why Associated Bank offers quick online applications and approvals with funding in as fast as 1 business day, checking with no minimum balances or maintenance fees, and prompt customer service. Explore our products at associatedbank.com/business or visit a branch for more details. Subject to credit approval. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
We not the geek squad, but we get the problem solved. Computer giving you problems, you need to drop it off. HD surveillance, residential or commercial. PWD computers, call us up and let us know. If you need a custom computer, yeah, we can build it for you. Business brand to help you expand, get more exposure. We offer graphic designs and networking. We keep you connected in the world that's not perfect. PWD Computers, 3800 West Valley Street, 414-445-5793. Monday through Friday, 10:30 to 5.
It is Truth Be Told with DT and Telly on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
I pull up, like, how you pull up, baby? How you pull up? How you pull up?
Have you ever been told
I pull up
by a non-black person to leave the U.S.? If you don't like it here, then you could just leave. Have you ever been told that, Telly?
I've heard it before, not personally. Because you know what the problem is with that. You know what the problem is with that, DT? It's so funny when people say stuff like that. If you don't like it here, leave. You know what? If we all left, you'd be begging us to come back, because this country would fall to shame without us here.
Can you say that one more again for the folks in the back? Seriously.
It'll be a week. We're like, no, man, we were just playing. We were just frustrated. Well, y'all can come on back.
And I mean, literally, this country would be nothing without black people. Now, a Republican candidate for Missouri Secretary of State told black Americans, if you do not like the country, then you can leave. And this video she posted, including this statement, was on the eve of Juneteenth. Now, Valentina Gomez, again, a Republican candidate for Missouri Secretary of State, your state, No, you're Illinois. I'm sorry.
No, I'm Illinois. Yeah, don't
St.
put me
Louis
in Missouri. Yes, don't put me in Missouri. They different over there too now.
Who previously caused outrage for urging voters not to be, and I quote, weak and gay. Accused the federal holiday of Juneteenth, commemorating the end of slavery in the United States, of being the most, and I quote, wretched holiday, and that black people should no longer be seeking reparations. Now, the video from Valentina Gomez, who is a staunch Donald Trump supporter, arrived days after the former president's 2024 campaign team announced a Black Americans for Trump initiative to try to persuade, obviously, black people to support the Republican in November's race against President Joe Biden. So this coalition includes Representative Byron Donalds of Florida and South Carolina Senator Tim Scott, who has been rumored to be the top candidate for former President Trump's Veep candidate, which will be announced here in Milwaukee on July 15th during the RNC. So we're going to play y'all some audio from Valentina Gomez. And she posted this video on X saying about Juneteenth, if you don't like America, GTFO. Check this out.
Reparations from slavery and black victimization is about to be shoved down our throats for the most ratchet holiday in America. BLM raised millions, but what did they do for black lives? It is outrageous to see people asking for reparations even though they never went through slavery. These ungrateful people should be celebrated because they were born in the greatest nation to ever exist. Here's a tip. If you don't like America?
And she goes on to say, here's a tip. If you don't like America, kindly get the out.
I
just want to repeat.
Who sounds like, oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, it is amazing to me that someone who clearly knows everything about the Black Americans' plight, from slavery to today, seems like she has all that information, and she came up to the conclusion that, there's no reparations that are needed. And like, come on, man. Again, like I said before, we played the audio. If we all left, they'd be begging us to come back.
Okay, so I'm going to just say the obvious. Valentina Gomez, you're a woman of color. They are literally the same party that you're supporting. Looks at people like you and thinks just as equally about us. Thug, terrorist, criminal, drug dealers. Build the wall for people that look just like you. Mm-hmm. And I just want to iterate this quote that came again from Valentina Gomez, who is a Republican who's running right now, a Republican candidate for Missouri Secretary of State. I just want to underscore what she says. I don't want to underscore, I just want to repeat it. Reparations from slavery and black victimization is about to be shoved down our throats for the most wretched holiday in America. Black Lives Matter raised millions, and what did they do for black lives? Again, Valentina Gomez.
The most wretched holiday that's only been in existence for 4 years now. Just became a holiday in 2020.
And here's my thing, Telly. She says people that never experienced slavery have the audacity to seek reparation. And what just baffles me when people who have never been nor ever will be black find themselves to be qualified enough and educated enough to speak about something that you won't even acknowledge. The country has yet to acknowledge the enslavement of black people in the form of an apology.
Yeah.
Like, that is literally the worst thing you can do to another human being.
And here's another thing too, DT. We talk a lot about, and we joke a lot about our community, what we do, and only black people do this and black people do that. One thing black people don't do is try to get and analyze and inform people about other people's struggle. You don't ever hear somebody black talks about, well, Jewish people, this, that, and the other, or Asian people got it this bad, this, that, and the other. We are so focused on our plight that we don't have time to dissect and think we know everything about somebody else's journey. So that's the one thing
Absolutely.
I can say as black people, we don't do that. We don't get into other people's journeys and struggles because we have our own. But it is so amazing to me that so many other people can tell black people how it is to be black.
And again, these words that people choose to use, hold these type of racist people accountable. Because she went on to say, and I'm quoting, Valentina Gomez, Republican candidate for Secretary of State out of the state of Missouri. She goes on to say, and I quote, "It is outrageous to see people ask you for reparations, even though they never went through slavery. These ungrateful people should be celebrating because they were born in the greatest nation to ever exist."
Yeah, we also benefited from slavery and learned all type of things that would help us too. So that kind of falls along the lines. But hey, reparations might be, still one of those things that we're not sure if it'll ever happen, but we know this can happen, and you need to call now. That's right. One call, that's all. Now is your chance to be entered to win our One Call, That's All 5K giveaway. Yes, you heard. That's right. A chance to win $5,000, because if you're waiting on reparations, you might win this $5,000 before you get that. 833-212-1017. Be caller number 3 right now, and you will be entered to win $5,000. Remember, if you or a loved one has been injured in an accident, call Gruber Law Offices now. One call, that's all. Be caller number 3 for your chance to be entered in to win this money from the One Call, That's All 5K giveaway. For official contest rules, visit 1017thetruth.com. Call now at 833-212-1017. And trust me, you might get a better chance of winning that $5,000 before these reparations come.
Well, to Telly's point, we come back. We're going to continue talking about reparations. Again, Republican candidate for Secretary of State out of the state of Missouri, Valentina Gomez, has told ungrateful black folks, you can just leave, you ungrateful black people. Reparations from slavery and black victimization is about to be shoved down our throats. How do you feel, or have you ever been told, well, if you don't like it here, then just leave? I've even heard some people say, well, if you don't like it here, you can just go back to Africa. How do you feel about this comment? How have you felt when you've ever been hurt? Yeah, whenever you've been told or heard that. 833-212-1017, because there are a number of, obviously, elected officials or to be elected officials that are saying that Juneteenth is ratchet and we're never getting our reparations, you ungrateful people. Coming from Valentina Gomez. You're listening to the best morning show on planet Earth. Truth Be Told with DT and Telly. We come back, we're going to hear from one of our callers. Also, we got a lot coming in on the Truth Talk and text line as well as our YouTube message board. We'll be back.
More of Truth Be Told with DT and Telly is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Truth Nation!
And all our juicy jammers out there.
Make certain that you tap into Jam with Juice each and every day so you can quench your thirst.
That is right. You already know you can sip on us every single day, like Benjamin said, from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. But that's not all, y'all.
Catch us exclusively on YouTube for our 6 to 7 show.
Yep, only on Thursdays.
Catch Jamming with Juice each and every day on 1017 The Truth.
Now sip on that.
The Milwaukee Bucks are The Bucks and Six podcast presents a special series commemorating the Bucks championship run in 2021. From the thrilling Game 7 overtime victory against the Nets.
Durant shooting, got it at the buzzer. No, it's a two-pointer.
To the 50-point statement made by Giannis in the finals.
A 50-point game. That's the stuff of legend.
Immerse yourself in the sounds of each playoff round with Bucks and Six on the Bucks Plus audio network. Find it now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, or wherever you get your podcasts.
It's been a messy morning on those wet roads. We're still keeping an eye on a crash on 94 westbound at the ramp from Wisconsin 175. The right shoulder blocked due to a crash that is making things move quite slowly through the stadium interchange there. And then also seeing some slight slowdowns on 4145 northbound beyond the ramp from Capitol Drive. The right shoulder there is blocked due to a crash. And a usual trouble spot, the construction zone there in the Mitchell interchange on 894 westbound is moving slow. And your weather for today: early morning rain, then storms, then becoming sunny, hot, humid, and breezy with a high of 91. Tonight, mostly cloudy and a low of 67 degrees. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, some spotty showers possible and breezy with a high of 80. On Thursday, some morning patchy fog, mostly sunny and a high of 74. Friday, a chance of showers and storms, mostly cloudy and a high of 78 degrees. In the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Steph Graham on 1017 The Truth.
When severe weather hits and the power goes out, do you have a plan? For reliable power and peace of mind, propane can do that. It only takes about 10 seconds for a propane-powered generator to restore power to your home. So no matter what Mother Nature has in store, you know you're prepared. Learn more at WIPGA.org. This message is sponsored by your local propane provider and the Wisconsin Propane Education and Research Council.
The YMCA is just a starting line, for the true self blooms only when we find our purpose, what makes us tick below the surface. Y is the before work hustle, an after school home, a section of my block, a corner to call my own. With my Y, I stand strong, seen and supported all along. It's a million faces in a mirror, and everyone belongs. Find your why. Join today at ymca.org for a better us.
You're listening to the new 1017 The Truth, founded in partnership with American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. 1017 FM, 1510 AM, WGKB Waukesha, and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station. It is Truth Be Told with DT and Telly on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Yeah. Weezy out. Back home smoking legal. I got more slaps than the Beatles. Running on diesel, dog. Playing with my name, this lethal, dog. Who you see? What? Don Corleone. Trust me, at the top it isn't lonely. Everybody acting like
You're listening to the best morning show on planet Earth. Truth Be Told with DT and Telly. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hope you are having a great start to the week. Tuesdays always, to me, are just kind of like blah, but it's a great day because we're here, we're alive. Before break, we were talking about okay, so before we get into this again, my question is, Telly, how do you even, as a soon-to-be elected official or someone who's looking to serve your state and indirectly your country, how do you even have the audacity or just even the willingness to make a statement such as the one that Republican candidate for Missouri Secretary of State, Valentina Gomez, posted a video on the eve of Juneteenth? And I don't want to be the one to say what she said. We're going to just hear directly from Valentina Gomez during her Juneteenth Eve video message to the United States of America. Check this out.
Reparations from slavery and black victimization is about to be shoved down our throats for the most ratchet holiday in America. BLM raised millions, but what did they do for black lives? It is outrageous to see people asking for reparations even though they never went through slavery. These ungrateful people should be celebrated because they were born in the greatest nation to ever exist. Here's a tip. If you don't like America,
if you don't like America, she says, then get out. But she had a very friendly word before that. Good morning, Al. You are live with DT and Telly. What is your question or comment?
My comment is we're going to go with some diehard truth. If you talk to some of your grandparents, some diehard Southerners that are black and white, she would be classified as a foreign Negro. She only talking like that because she has the skin color and hair. And even though we are all created equal, the same people she's trying to show out for, they will tell her if you take away the skin color and hair, she's nothing but a Negro. Also, if it wasn't for the immigration bill, I believe it was in 1915, a lot of them wouldn't even be over here because when a lot of their great-grandmothers and grandmothers tried to come, they didn't even allow them to come over the ocean. And depending on where she came from, some of them was referred to as San Negras. But she's only talking that because she has the skin color and hair. But if you strip it all away, she's nothing but a Negro, an ignorant one. But somebody need to give her the real truth. And I'm not being racist or anything because everybody is all created equal. I'm just saying this is what diehard Southerners and some of our grandparents used to say. She's nothing but a foreign Negro. She's actually second class to blacks. So she might want to go talk to her grandmother and her great-grandmother because the way they categorize them is even worse than us. And here's one fact for the history. We built this. They didn't build nothing. And they're also the same people she's praising is the same people that DeSantis don't even want them to have a break when they work out in the hot weather. And again, if it wasn't for the immigration bill, DeSantis' grandmama wouldn't be over here because when she tried to come, they sent her back over the Atlantic Ocean. Have a great day and make sure you put a whole lot of liquor in that black coffee. Goodbye.
Thank you, Al. Thank you so much. All right. We've also got Jay. Jay, good morning. You are live with DT and Telly. What is your question or comment?
Hey, good morning to both of y'all. She better hope that Trump don't get in there because they try to do mass deportation. They might take her butt over there back home, Colombia. And that's the butt-naked truth on that because you can't really say anything about a country you just got here. We've been here for so long, people forget that, like Al just said, we helped build this country. So if somebody got to go back to their country, she needs to go back to hers because we're here until, the Lord come back. And that's all I got to say. God bless both of y'all, and y'all have a blessed day. Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you so much, Jay. We appreciate you tuning in and your comment. Telly, again, I'm not even going to unpack this because at the end of the day, what is outstanding to me is that you have an individual, and again, in this case, it's Republican candidate for Missouri Secretary of State, Valentina Gomez. Whatever her race is or however she identifies, where I'm just thrown off is the fact that you are representing your state, you're representing your country, and this is the type of narrative that you publicly share against another group of human beings. How is she even eligible now to run for public office? Think about it, Telly. If right now on this radio show, I said that same statement about her community, it wouldn't even, it would be, and now you're listening to Truth Be Told with Telly.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to understand how people who have these titles and are running for public office and are supposed to be representing all people throughout the state of Missouri, throughout the United States of America.
Rewind that part. Who are they supposed to represent? No. Who are they supposed to represent? Oh, okay.
People.
Yes. The people. Not just a sector of people.
How is she still able to even run for Secretary of State. Good morning, Miss Deborah. You are live with DT and Telly. What is your question or comment?
Good morning, Telly and DT. How are you today?
Wonderful. Thank you.
Well, I just want to make a comment about Ms. Gomez. That's her name, the political person that's running. I just feel that she is mimicking a lost cause, and if she knew how magnificent our nation was and what we went through and our resilience and, you know, just all the things we continue to contribute to the table, she'll sit down and eat with us and try to look at, wow, you know, I can take this and be a good person in the political party. But coming like that, she's going to lose. She already lost. So you cannot say anything about us as a people. We can speak for ourselves just fine. And with that, have a great day.
Thank you so much, Miss Deborah. Thank you. Have a great day as well. All right, we've got the caller. You are live with DT and Telly. What is your question or comment?
Good morning, Denise, Telly. How y'all doing? It's mostly comical when people repeat things that have been said for 100 years that, you know, will never happen. And that actually is what people like her are jealous of. We are born with the legacy that our ancestors did build this, and that will never change. And so that's something that they can never change, and that's part of our uniqueness as a people, is that we're the only people who, we weren't immigrants, we were imported. We were imported here just like any piece of furniture or any livestock that they had that they owned. And in my opinion, if they were trying to carry out this, that's one of the mistakes they made in their evil plan, is not dropping you back off at the crib when you was done working. You know, if they'd have just worked you for 5 or 10 years, dropped you off, they wouldn't have this problem. And maybe treated you well and sent you back home rich if that's what they really felt. But they need, as Telly said, they need us here. They've always needed us here. This country is nothing without it. And that we're probably the only group that can be said about. So, you know, people like her, she won't get elected. And like I said, I do believe that people, if your family was not here during the Civil War, you have nothing to say about slavery, reparations, or this nation overall. You should shut up and just learn the history of the country before you start telling people to leave it.
There you have it. Thank you so much, the caller. Have a great day. Now, what's interesting, Telly, with this video, it ends with a photo of her posing with an assault rifle while dressed in a military-style outfit. And Valentina Gomez, who is a 25-year-old immigrant from Colombia, has never served in the U.S. military or any military for that matter. When we come back, we want to hear your thoughts. Again, our Truth Talk and text line is 833-212-1017. I'm not tripping off of what she said. If you're racist and you feel that way, that's your beliefs. But what I do have a problem with is the fact that you are running for public office for a very, very highly visible, critical position out of the state of Missouri, and nobody is out of the Republican or GOP party is saying she should not run. She is not eligible. She's using hate comments. That's where I'm concerned. So we come back. We want to hear your thoughts. We've got some additional hot topics for you. Former President Donald Trump is giving people a lesson in Black history. Stay tuned to learn more about this Black history lesson that President Donald J. Trump is giving the United States as he runs for re-election. This is award-winning 1017 The Truth. We will be back.
More of Truth Be Told with DT and Telly is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Summerfest is back, and the award-winning 1017 The Truth has got you covered with front row access passes to the best concerts at Summerfest this year.
Tune in to all your favorite Truth shows every day so you do not miss your chance to win tickets and wristbands to see artists like SZA, Bryson Tiller, Lil Uzi Vert, En Vogue, K-Camp, and so many more.
Don't miss your chance to see these artists up close and personal during Milwaukee's biggest summer party. Summerfest is presented by by our founding partner, American Family Insurance.
You know one thing about Biden?
Here you go again.
When he makes a promise, he keeps it.
Okay, like what?
He got us out of the pandemic, got the country back on its feet.
Okay, sure.
And when all that recovery money was getting spent, Biden made sure that black businesses and communities got our fair share.
So, man?
That's a promise made and a promise kept.
Okay, but what else?
New roads, new bridges, high-speed internet, even out in the country where your brother lives.
Yeah.
Lower health insurance rates. Didn't your premiums go down?
Uh-huh.
That's another Biden promise kept.
Looks like it.
My mom's medication costs less. Your cousin's insulin is now only $35.
Okay, but what about jobs, building wealth?
Under Biden, the number of new black small businesses is booming. And black unemployment hit a record low. See? That's another...
Okay, I get it. Promise made, promise kept. I can see that now.
Told you. Biden and Harris are getting the job done for us.
I'm Joe Biden, candidate for president, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Biden for president.
Hi, Drew and Jonathan Scott here, reminding you that a lot of life's firsts are better with help from American Family Insurance. Like your first home expansion or your first big lightning strike. There's a first for everything. Get the right home policy at the right price with the right help from American Family's agents. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Associated Bank knows your small business isn't just a venture. It's your dream and a vital part of the community. And we're not just a bank. We're your neighbors. We're looking out for you. That's why Associated Bank offers quick online applications and approvals with funding in as fast as one business day, checking with no minimum balances or maintenance fees, and prompt customer service. Explore our products at associatedbank.com/business or visit a branch for more details. Subject to credit approval. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
It is Truth Be Told with DT and Telly on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Yeah. Yeah. Whoa.
That's a vibe.
DT, I think this should be our theme song. Truth Be Told with DT and Telly is a vibe. And this is what we should come on to. But what's also a vibe is congratulations, Teresa Scott. You have been entered to win the 5K Gruber giveaway. Congratulations. We will continue to enter people to win $5,000. So, Teresa Scott, congratulations. You are in the game.
Congratulations! And remember, let me hold something if you feel inclined. Also, you want to join us tonight for our second Beyond the Mic with Sherwin Hughes from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. We're going to be at the Scene 1 restaurant and lounge located at 5526 West North Avenue in Milwaukee. You want to make sure you get there right at 5 o'clock so you do not miss your chance to win a one-night stay at the Chula Vista Resort in the Dells Water Park passes and a $25 food voucher. Man, that's it right there. A 4-pack of tickets to see the Milwaukee Brewers or a $25 gift card to Cousin Subs. Plus, from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m., your first drink is on our great partners at PWD Computers while supplies last. Again, don't miss out on the fun and join us for Beyond the Mic with Sherwin Hughes tonight from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. at Scene 1 Restaurant and Lounge, sponsored by PWD Computers. PWD Computers, they keep you connected. Visit them today at PWD, D as in dog, Computers on Facebook. Thank you so much for tuning in. We've been talking about, I don't know, the Republicans, man, they on one this week. I was just like, I try to be fair. I try to, report on both sides. But Republicans, y'all giving us a lot of material this week. We've got Valentina Gomez.
Can't turn away from it.
Telling us, black people, you ungrateful Negroes, leave. Then you've got another Republican Party supporter
who was threatening to cut Representative Maxine Waters' throat, who was just sentenced to a whopping 33 months after threatening to kill an elected official who has served this country for several decades. And to just make it really good for y'all, former President Donald Trump has provided a history lesson, particularly black history, during a speech to the Faith and Freedom Coalition, which is a conservative Christian group. Former President Trump criticized proposals to change the names of the schools, military facilities, and other places that honor slave owners and Confederate leaders. Now, under President Joe Biden, the Army has renamed 9 installations that have been named for Confederate generals. And former President Donald Trump, who is running for re-election, says during this speech, and I quote, "How about George Washington High School? We want the name removed from that high school. They don't know why. You know, they thought he had slaves. Actually, I think he probably didn't." So President Trump, during this speech on Saturday, and what I love about the word "I think," see, when you lead with that, that's already, he says, I think he probably didn't. Now, Telly, as long as you've been black and breathing on this earth, and even going to a predominantly, I'm speaking for me on this level, I attended predominantly white schools, public schools, during my entire K through 12 experience. Kindergarten through 12th grade, I attended predominantly white schools. And during U.S. history lessons, there'd be a little bitty section around black Americans, but there'd be a whole lot of sections on slavery to condition already at an early age that you are subservient, you are significant. Now, I'm not the smartest tool in the shed, but I will say this, Telly. I know for a fact that George Washington owned slaves. Now, that's a documented historical fact that George Washington, who died in the year 1799, had 317, are you with me, Telly? 317 enslaved people at his home and plantation in Virginia, including 123 slaves that were owned by George Washington directly himself. That's a fact. And it's not news.
Yeah, some of this stuff that that Donald Trump says is just so ridiculous that you can't even. It's hard to reply because this is the same person that wanted to see President Obama's birth certificate, the same person that told you to drink bleach, the same person that thought he knew more about the pandemic than the everyone else, all the experts, and so when you combine all of that, when he makes a statement like, "Oh, I don't think that George Washington had any slaves." So back then, you mean to tell me all these other white men are walking around and they're sitting around and having these meetings and luncheons and parties, and they bragging on, "Hey, I got 212 of them. Oh, I got 6 of them. I got 500 of them." And George Washington's the only one that says, "You know what? This whole slavery thing seems wrong. I don't want any slaves." So that's exactly what he said. So Donald Trump, I don't think he had slaves. Come on now.
I'm still processing
some of his stuff you can't even say.
I'm still processing the fact that he didn't know. He didn't know that George Washington owned slaves. I knew that, Telly. I knew that. I mean, first of all, look at all the black folks with the last name Washington. Where'd that come from? Look at all the black folks in this country that have the slave name Washington. Am I seriously, think about it. You got Jacksons, Washingtons. What's the other common last name amongst black Americans? And it's the slave name they inherited by their slave owners.
Johnsons.
Man, how many? Johnsons, Jacksons, Washingtons,
yeah.
Joneses, all that, Smiths. We didn't get that name from Africa. I can tell you that right now. Never been to Africa and met somebody with the last name Washington. And so not only did George Washington own slaves, he inherited 10 slaves from his father at age 11. And this is according to the Mount Vernon website, where he was born, which is maintained as a historic place. Washington purchased dozens of enslaved people from estate sales and in private transactions. The first president of the United States of America, the first president, also rented slaves. He also inherited them from siblings and enslaved the children who were born to slaves at Mount Vernon. And when he married his wife, Martha, he gained control of a large number of enslaved people from the state of Martha Washington's first husband. George Washington was either inheriting or purchasing slaves. And the list goes up to 317 enslaved people that were owned by George Washington. And what I'm tripping off of is that we have a presidential candidate who stood in front of an audience and claimed that George Washington, and I use the words, I think he didn't own slaves, right? He didn't own slaves. Can you just hear him say that, Telly? No. I don't think he owned slaves.
Oh my gosh.
Can't make this up.
Look, no, you cannot. And I was thinking about something, and this is a little off topic, but I know in my Truth of the Matters, I have constantly said, stay awake, stay woke on what's going on. And we try to give information. And some of the things you're going to have to filter out yourself, meaning I'm looking at before Juneteenth, Donald Trump was in Detroit talking to local pastors and doing something that Biden nor Obama did, and that was visit this particular neighborhood in Detroit. And now all of a sudden, everybody cares about the black vote, right? Where was Donald Trump on Juneteenth? How did he celebrate Juneteenth?
Where was Donald Trump on Juneteenth? Now, that's a great question. Truth Nation, 833-212-1017. Did anybody see President Trump on Juneteenth? Let us know. Call in, text us, because that's a great question. I can't remember seeing him anywhere in the public on Juneteenth. We come back, we're going to hear from y'all. 833-212-1017. We're going to continue to give you some updates regarding this speech that President Trump gave on Saturday to a conservative group regarding not only U.S. history, black history, but also his recent indictment. Can't make this up, y'all. 833-212-1017. You're listening to the best morning show on planet Earth, Truth Be Told, with DT and Telly. We'll be back.
More of Truth Be Told with DT and Telly is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Come escape to Lake Lawn Resort. Enjoy stunning lakeside views, on-site golf, award-winning spa, and numerous dining options, including 1878 on the lake. Dive into the pools, explore water sports, or relax by the lakeside fire pits. Experience Lake Lawn Resort's newly renovated guest rooms, part of a multi-million-dollar upgrade for ultimate comfort and luxury. Whether it's a romantic getaway, family vacation, or corporate retreat, Lake Lawn Resort has it all. Book your stay at Lake Lawn Resort today and discover the perfect blend of adventure and relaxation.
We not the geek squad, but we get the problem solved. Computer giving you problems, you need to drop it off. HD surveillance, residential or commercial. PWD computers, call us up and let us know. If you need a custom computer, yeah, we can build it for you. Business brand to help you expand, get more exposure. We offer graphic designs and networking. We keep you connected in the world that's not perfect. PWD Computers, 3800 West Police Street, 414-445-5793. Monday through Friday, 10:30 to 5.
What is at stake for African American voters in this election? A great deal is at stake. Everything all the progress we've made is at stake. For example, right now we've lowered health care costs. I've been able to walk in and make sure we forgive student debt for people who are struggling to get to school. We've provided billions of dollars to HBCUs to give them a fighting chance. We've changed prescription drug costs by allowing Medicare to negotiate drug prices so that people on insulin are paying $35 a month instead of $400 a month. And all prescription drugs can be limited to $2,000 a year, even though cancer drugs are $10,000, $12,000, $14,000. We're strengthening Medicare. Look, we stand up for principles. Our democracy is at stake, in fact. Look what he's doing with Putin and with Kim Jong-un of North Korea. Look at him saying, we don't think a country is paying enough for their own defense, then when they get invaded by the Russians or anyone else, that's up to them. We're not going to help. He has a fundamentally different view than the vast majority of Republicans, I might add, in the past, as well as me and the Democratic Party.
To hear more of President Joe Biden's interviews with Sherwin Hughes, visit 1017thetruth.com and find it in the interview podcast tile, or download the 1017 The Truth app today. Milwaukee Black Talk.
Truth Nation! Tap into Jamming with Juice. Yo, I've been jamming with Ben Jammin for a very long time. And now here's your chance to catch Jamming with Juice live on YouTube. You can also catch a drop of juice on 1017 The Truth app at 1017thetruth.com.
We do have a few crashes across the system. On 94 northbound at the ramp from Elm Road in Racine County, the right shoulder blocked due to a crash, although it does appear that is clearing up pretty nicely. And then if we go up to Menominee Falls, we are dealing with a crash on the ramp from Main Street West to 4145 northbound. Doesn't appear to be causing too many delays up there. We are seeing some delays through the Stadium Interchange, 94 eastbound and westbound, and also some delays 94 eastbound heading out of the zoo, and also going to be a little bit slow if you're driving on 894 through the Mitchell Interchange, and give yourself some extra time if you are traveling 43 southbound just south of Silver Spring Drive. Is going to be a little slow going there. Storm team forecast today becoming sunny, hot, humid, and breezy with a high of 91 degrees. Tonight, mostly cloudy and a low of 67. On Wednesday, partly cloudy, a spotty shower chance, and breezy with a high of 80. Thursday, some morning patchy fog, then mostly sunny and a high of 74. Friday, we have a chance of showers and storms, mostly cloudy with a high of 78. And to kick off your weekend, Saturday, a slight chance of some early rain, then partly cloudy and a high of 84 degrees. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Steph Graham on 1017 The Truth.
This Associated Bank Sports Update on 1017 The Truth is powered by ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Alex Tellez. Over in baseball, the Milwaukee Brewers took care of business at home, beating the Texas Rangers 6-3 on Monday. They are back in action this Tuesday as Bryce Wilson is on the mound versus Andrew Heaney. First pitch is scheduled for 7:10, with coverage beginning over on WTMJ at 6:35. Brewers currently still sit at first place in the division with a 5-game lead over the St. Louis Cardinals. Over in the NBA, the Milwaukee Bucks continue to prepare for this year's 2024 NBA Draft, as day one is tomorrow night, this Wednesday at 7, as the Bucks hold the 23rd pick in the draft. And finally, over in the NHL, the Florida Panthers beat the Edmonton Oilers 2-1, winning the Stanley Cup Finals in 7 games after being up 3-0 in the series. This sports update brought to you by Associated Bank, proudly supporting your hometown teams, member FDIC.
It is Truth Be Told with DT and Telly on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Now tell me who on the with us. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust.
Republican presidential candidate, former President Donald Trump, spoke at a campaign rally this past Saturday at Temple University in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And during this speech, where the audience consisted of a Faith and Freedom Coalition group, which is a conservative Christian group. Trump criticized proposals to change the names of schools, military facilities, and other places that honor slave owners and Confederate leaders. Now, under President Joe Biden, the Army has renamed 9 installations that have been named for Confederate generals. During this speech, former President Trump says, quote, "How about George Washington High School? We want the name removed from that high school. They don't know why. You know, they thought he had slaves. Actually, I think he probably didn't," end quote. Now, we all know as a fact, an extensively documented fact, that our first elected president of the United States, George Washington, had slaves, both which he inherited from family members as well as purchased as a transaction. He actually owned 123 enslaved people, and a total of 317 enslaved people were at his home and plantation. Trump, just to close this out, during the same speech, Trump claimed that the price of bacon has increased 100% or more under President Biden. And I'm like, say what? Trump also claimed that President Biden was the person who indicted him in the New York criminal case in which he was convicted on 34 felony counts through a grand jury of ordinary tax-paying citizens who indicted him, and the prosecution was led by a local district attorney who does not report to the federal government. But yet, according to former President Donald Trump, President Biden was the person who indicted him.
DT, I love when our shows come full circle, and we started this show talking about the severe weather and climate change, and you have a debate that's going, the first presidential debate that he finally agreed to do, coming up in 2 days, and you're giving a speech this past Saturday, and you're talking about changing high school names. President Biden was the one who indicted me, and we supposed to have confidence that things are going to change if he's elected. Like, to me, it's just we're not paying attention to the things that we should be paying attention to, because he continuously to deflect from what is really going on. If it's not him talking about his convictions, you're talking about stuff that doesn't even, like, is that a priority now? Like, for real? Getting in there and making sure you change the names of certain high schools, is that the most important thing right now? Outside of you staying out of jail?
Well, I definitely, to your point, I wouldn't measure it as the highest of priorities in terms of what matters to the state of this country. However, it is refreshing to know that schools that formerly had the names of Confederate soldiers or slave owners, those institutions' names have been changed. I do think that is definitely something that's necessary, yes. But to your point, it's not the top priority. And, you know, Telly, one of the things I just want to emphasize, as our show today, we've talked about threats being made to black elected officials, i.e., Madam Congresswoman Maxine Waters. We've talked about people who are running for public office. And in this case, Valentina Gomez, who's a Republican running for Secretary of State out of the state of Missouri, using her social media platform to look Americans in the face and call black people, you people are disgusting, you want reparations, you need to just leave the U.S. And then now, speaking of former President Donald Trump, the Manhattan District Attorney that served on the prosecuting team during the trial of former President Donald Trump, he's received more than 100 threats and abusive messages since his office finished convicting Donald Trump in the former president's unprecedented hush money case. 100 threats and abusive messages, Telly. And for the record, District Attorney Alvin Bragg is a black man.
Wow.
And the New York Police Department have analyzed these threats, which were obtained by the New York Daily News, included messages filled with hateful racial slurs and comments like "brag in trouble," "this means war." I mean, this is the kind of country that we live in. And that's why, I've said on the show, and I remember we had a listener, and when I said this, they were like, America is still the greatest country, and you're not going to have the same quality of life that you do anywhere else. I'm like, these white supremacists that are running for public office, they are giving us a heads up. They are letting us know exactly how they feel and what they will do. Like January 6th on Capitol Hill. Oh, that was a trial run.
Yeah.
That was lightweight stuff.
That happened.
But what I'm saying is that when you have people who have the courage and audacity to use platforms like social media, or just have the audacity to pick up the phone and send an email threatening an elected official, a judge, because of their race, and nobody's reacting or nobody's saying you need to be removed from public office or you need to be sentenced to jail for 10, 15, 20 years, 33 months, Telly, this country is letting black people know how they feel about us.
Yeah.
DE&I is being removed. You can't talk about black history. You've got governors publicly telling Americans that slavery was a good thing for black people. It taught us the skills that we needed in order to work. And nobody is saying anything.
It's crazy.
I'm going to tell you right now, and I've said this before, get your passport. Get your dual citizenship. And I'm not even going to say it anymore because I've said it and some people, oh, Denise, look, I am a black American and I also like breathing.
Yeah, it's going to be
January 6th, that was play.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because if we're about to have a presidential election in a few months, the Republican National Convention is going to be here. And you've had black babies being killed, hit and run. Every day you look on the local news in Milwaukee, somebody's being shot. Gun violence continues to increase. And as soon as the Republicans come to Milwaukee, now you want to have a secure downtown area. Now you want to make sure certain people are protected. Man, come on. The writing is on the wall. You've got movies that are being made. The movie Civil War that just came out. I think now you could probably stream it. And what was the movie that President Obama and Michelle Obama, forever First Lady, their production company made with Julia Roberts and the brother, When the World Leaves Us? Man, y'all, and I don't mean to sound cliche, but in the words of Lawrence Fishburne from the movie school days, wake up.
Mm-hmm.
You would never, you would never think about it, Telly. If in 1995, if I would have told you that almost 30 years later in 2024, we would be living in a country that is removing our history, is making laws, litigations that are basically telling us we do not want you to win. Then you have people who are running for the highest offices to serve the American people, telling people that Black Lives Matter, black people are ungrateful, you need to leave this country. Man, I'm done.
And again,
that's actually
I said it. I said it before. When you are running for public office, you are running for the people. You are serving the people. And when you basically single out, hey, you ungrateful black people, like either, you don't deserve any reparations, and if you don't like it, go back to wherever you came from, basically, is what she said. Now, we had a lot of callers, and the common theme between all our callers this morning was the fact that this Gomez woman in Missouri probably got over here based off of DACA, based off of other immigrant laws that were made to allow her and her family to stay in this country. And then you get here and you here for a hot second and you telling other people that they should leave and go to where they're from. That it doesn't make any sense.
Again,
but
audacity.
You want to get here. Yeah. And then you want to represent the people of Missouri, and you want everybody to get behind this. To me, it is, audacity is the operative word.
Somebody is telling these people to do this, and because for them to be able to get away with it, and 33 months in prison for threatening over the course since 2020. This man out of Texas has been threatening Congresswoman Maxine Waters, her and her family members, to the point where he said in one of the many threats, "I will cut your throat." 33 months. Yeah. What does that tell you?
Yeah, they felt like they had to give them something. That's what it feels like to me. And like, we got to give them something. Like, we can't, we know we can't just ignore it, but we're not going to give him any real time. In 33 months,
he'll be out. He'll be out in 9 months, Telly. He'll be out in 9 months. Mm-hmm. He'll do maybe a third of that sentencing, which was already pathetic. But again, I'm not mad at Valentina Gomez. That's how she feels. I don't entertain racist people. Like you feel how you want to feel. I know who I am. But what I do have a problem with is the fact that she is eligible to run for public office, Secretary of State at that. And she's going to own. She's going to be able to own and make decisions that impact black entrepreneurs, the way that black people, in terms of people in general, but we know how she feels about us, and she's going to be making a lot of decisions that impact us directly, our community. And nobody has said anything about this woman being ineligible to run for public office that serves how many? I don't have to do a fact check. How many black people live in the state of Missouri? With St. Louis alone, it's got to be in the double digits, right?
It's tough because Missouri is like Georgia. You have Atlanta, and then there's the rest of Georgia. And Missouri, you have Kansas City and St. Louis, and the rest of it is very rural. It's definitely a red state. Definitely a red state. So
as of 2022, the African American or black population in Missouri was 693,892 people, which made it about 11.3% of the population. So 80.28% are white, black or African American 11.33%. So there's not a lot of us, but that's 693,892 people. That's a very significant number of people who are going to be living in a state where their Secretary of State feels that they should go home to Africa.
Mm-hmm. That is a very realistic possibility.
You have no right to even think about reparation because you weren't slaves. And Juneteenth is a wretched holiday. That's how she feels about each of those 693,892 black Americans that live in the state of Missouri. And she is eligible to run. And see, that's where I'm like, tell me without telling me.
Yeah.
Tell me without telling me that we live in a society where public officials can go on social media and talk about a certain group of people based on their race. Like we are literally, like, you should be glad we enslaved you. You should be glad you're here. You were born in the greatest country of all time. You should be thankful.
That's what she said.
But if I asked Miss Gomez, would she trade to be black for just a week? What do you think her response would be? Okay, Valentino Gomez, since it's so great to be black in America, you try it for a week. What do you think she's going to say?
You sure we just can't try it for a day? That's what she gonna say.
Oh no, I don't even want to try it for a day. So that's what kills me about racist people, when they say things like, you know, well, you have it good. Okay, well then you be black for a week. When we come back, y'all, we're going to get to our truth of the matter. And again, you can't make this up. We thank and appreciate you so much for tuning in. You want to stay locked in because we're going to bring you 9 more hours of live consecutive Black Talk Radio. Milwaukee, this is the award-winning 1017 The Truth. We'll be back.
More of Truth Be Told with DT and Telly is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
What's up, Truth Nation? It's your girl, Noni Juice, and I want you to tune into The Truth this Saturday at 10 a.m. for another episode of More Than a Movement, powered by Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin. I will be joined by reproductive justice advocates Desiree Israel, Tamara Thompson, and of course, Sarah Noble, and we are going to have an in-depth conversation about reproductive justice and Black maternal health. So again, that is More Than a Movement, powered by Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin, this Saturday at 10 a.m. on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
Are you tired of spending more and getting less? Do you feel weighed down by the increase in costs just to meet your daily needs? Are you looking for answers? Join Tori Lowe next Wednesday, June 26 at 6 p.m. for a powerful conversation with special guest Senator Ron Johnson. They'll dive into the important issues affecting your daily lives and discuss how progress can be made to ensure a better future. Join us Wednesday, June 26 at 6 p.m. to hear from Senator Ron Johnson, Tori Lowe, and music by
DJ Brother Z. Turn the radio on. Can you play that song for me?
At 275 West Wisconsin Avenue, Venue 3. Free food while it lasts. The Republican Party of Wisconsin paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. www.wisgop.org.
This is Telly Hughes for Educators Credit Union, where I am a member. Do you dream of owning a home? Educators Credit Union is by your side with better rates, lower fees, and award-winning member services to help turn your dreams into reality. Join one of their free home buying webinars throughout this summer to learn about the benefits of buying a home, home ownership grants, loan options, and so much more. Visit their website at ecu.com to reserve your virtual seat. Educators Credit Union is an equal housing lender.
Hi, Drew and Jonathan Scott here, reminding you that American Family Insurance agents can help build a customized renter's policy so you can protect stuff like this, or this, or even this. Well, case in point. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Are you now 18 or older and need a driver's permit? Greater Milwaukee Urban League's free driver's permit classes can put you in the driver's seat. You'll learn the rules of the road from qualified instructors, moving you one step closer to successfully earning your driver's license permit. You may also qualify for free behind-the-wheel instruction. Classes are available June through September. You can attend virtually or in person. Visit tmul.org for more information.
You are listening to Truth Be Told with DT and Telly on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
right, y'all. As we wrap up today's Truth Be Told with DT and Telly, we're getting into our Truth of the Matter. I think I gave my Truth of the Matter before break, Telly. So, I'm going to go ahead and just pass this mic on to you because, again, for me,
oh man,
listen, you can't control how people feel about others. Like, I don't get fazed by people like Valentina Gomez. But what I do have a problem with, again, is the fact that this country allows people like her who are running for public office to serve all people of the state of Missouri and say things like she said about Juneteenth and black people in general. And if you don't like it, here's a tip. Get the out. Where are we as a country? Where are we as a country? That's, again, my truth of the matter is, where are we as a country when it comes to our elected officials who are able to make racist statements as the ones that Valentina Gomez, Republican candidate out of the state of Missouri running for Secretary of State, did on the eve of Juneteenth?
I think with my truth of the matter, we have so normalized irrational and unusual behavior where there's nothing that is wrong anymore. Meaning, 2016 changed politics forever when Donald Trump was able to do the things that he was doing, say the things that he was able to say, and still become president and still continue to do things. I mean, all the way down to comments like there are good people on both sides. And those comments, people don't understand that they have long-term effects, because now, like, that woman Gomez, Miss Gomez, would have never said that before 2016. And I mean, no one. So Donald Trump has emboldened a lot of people to come out and say things that they normally wouldn't say. And I think if he is elected again, he will entitle a lot more people to do that as well. But this is still unacceptable behavior. It's unacceptable speech, and you should still feel a certain kind of way when you hear those type of things. That's not normal, and that's not okay. So again, don't let some things that's been normalized become normal for you, because they're still not normal. They're still not presidential. It's still not things that elected officials should say. So that is my truth of the matter.
We should see if we can get Valentina Gomez on the Truth Be Told with DT and Telly show during the RNC, because I'm sure she'll be here. Let's see if we can have a conversation.
Good call. Yeah, because I'm sure there won't be a lot of people knocking her door down. So yeah, she should be available.
I'm like, girl, you better be glad somebody even want to talk to you. Sit on down here. Let's have a conversation. Come on over here, Valentina. You look just like me. Look, with your light-skinned self. Come on over here. Talking about black folks.
Hey, Luda was here the other day. You could come over here.
Yes, we're gonna work on having a conversation with Valentina Gomez. In the meantime, y'all make sure you stay locked in for another 9 hours of live Black Talk Radio here on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth. Up next, Sherwin Hughes.
Peace out.
Truth Nation, our first Beyond the Mic Happy Hour Mixer Series was a hit. Round 2 is up next. Join me and my Truth teammates for my Beyond the Mic Happy Hour Mixer Series on Tuesday,